Hello everyone, this is AndresRestart, and today we are talking about how it looks like a reliable leaker who up to this point has not gotten anything wrong yet. So far, they have a 100% track record, even though I think eventually any leaker will eventually get something wrong due to plans changing and what have you, but up to this point in time, with their 100% track record so far, it appears they are teasing a Nintendo Direct, and everyone right now, or a lot of people, are starved for that big general Nintendo Direct. What is Nintendo planning for the second half of the year? What is the big holiday title, especially with Pokemon Winds and Waves not coming out until next year? There are many questions right now. And so it is looking like another Direct is being teased here. But what this Direct may be, well, there is certainly many talking points that are going to sprout from this, so that's what we're diving into today. Do you find yourself unable to take a good nap during the day from wherever you may be? Then perhaps you are in need of a soft, comfortable sleep mask that blocks out all light. Fortunately, Manta Sleep, the sponsor for today's video, has just that, a quality sleep mask. This sleep mask has super soft, comfy cushions that cover your eyes and block out all light. It's easy to adjust to different sizes, and it feels great to wear, and it's helped me personally fit in just a bit more rest during my days. So if you're looking to improve your sleep and energy, check out the Manta Sleep Mask using the link in the description below with my code SLEEPRESTART. So a Nintendo Direct seemingly is being teased by friend of the channel and reliable insider slash leaker Attack the Backlog. Yes, up to this point in time, Attack the Backlog has a 100% track record, and he isn't specifically stating exactly when a Direct is going to happen. He hasn't even fully awarded that a Nintendo Direct is happening soon. He just seems to be teasing it, but this is what he has done in the past. So for example, we go over here, an image from late January, where he was teasing the partner showcase that would happen on February 5th. And so you see here, there is a double dash image, and then there was a 5 here, there's a 5 here, there was a 5 here. Maybe you could argue that's a little subtle. But he had another image that was teasing that, where he was asked about what's going on, and he said, "Sorry dude, I gotta plead the 5th. So, Attack the Backlog was teasing that there would be a partner showcase on February 5th, or rather that there would be a Nintendo Direct on February 5th. As it turned out, it was a partner showcase, but still, yes, technically, a Nintendo Direct. Now, something that I think needs to be addressed, because I see a lot of it happening online, is that there are a lot of people who have made claims that Attack the Backlog has stated inaccurate things, because he has done a couple podcasts with Nash Weedle, and lately, Nash Weedle has certainly been under much scrutiny because he's the one that put up the rumor that there would be a general Direct in either February or March that would have the reveal for 3D Mario and the next title from Monolith Soft. Now, technically we're still in March, so that rumor may still pan out. But we are running out of time here, and he did have sources that indicated that it would have happened in February. That proved to not be true. So certainly people are growing more and more skeptical, and I'll tell you, I myself am growing more and more skeptical. But while Attack the Backlog has backed Nash Weedle's credibility before, and I do think if you look at the track history, it's clear that Nash has certainly heard about a lot of things, there's no guarantee that he's going to get everything right. He has gone several things incorrect in the past. And it may be the case that this whole Direct thing would also be incorrect. We shall see. The only thing Attack the Backlog has said in regards to this Direct rumor in February or March is that he has heard something is happening. He has not stated specifically if it would be a Direct. He has not stated specifically when it would be happening, simply that he was told something else is happening, which may have seemed to line up with the rumor from Nash Weedle, but there were no guarantees. And actually, as I stated, ATB's track record so far is 100%. As we see here in this little list here, it summarizes all the things he has leaked, such as stating that the July 2025 Direct date and time, and even pre-scheduled his live stream a week in advance. I remember seeing that, I remember talking about that. He had teased the reveal of Elliot in the partner showcase back then. He stated which week the big September Direct last year would happen, and they would also have Resident Evil 7 and Donkey Kong Bonanza DLC. That was all confirmed. He stated there would be a Mario game, movie, and theme park in the September Direct. That was all there. Here it talks about him stating the exact date for the partner showcase. We already covered that. And that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth would be in that partner showcase with a June release date. All of that he's talked about before. A lot of these things he's talked about before anyone else. So yeah, he has a pretty good track record, 100% spot on. There are some things that are pending, as we see here. Kingdom Hearts 1 through 3, Silent Hill 2 Remake, we shall see. But the point is that Attack the Backlog, from his source, so far, still 100% track record. He's proven to be very reliable, especially when it comes to talking about when we're going to see a Nintendo Direct. And so it seems like Attack the Backlog is at it again, teasing a future Nintendo Direct. So we see here with this image, before Resi 10, I think Leon needs a day off and a change of scenery. So, what is he getting at here? Well, recently, it was announced that there will be Resident Evil Requiem DLC. And it's not going to be that long before it comes out, so perhaps they will showcase this DLC before then. And we see here Leon in a spring environment. Perhaps teasing that the Nintendo Direct, where we would see the next update on Resident Evil Requiem and its DLC, would be in spring, maybe sometime in April. And what's interesting about that is they put out this other image here, where we see at the top, April, the character, but perhaps this is him teasing in similar fashion to as he's done in the past, that there's something happening in April. And we even have Nash Riddle here laughing and putting his winky emoji. So maybe he knows something or he's heard something that aligns with this. But yeah, it looks like, and again, looks like Attack the Backlog has not 100% claimed, but it appears that he is teasing a Nintendo Direct of some kind to happen in April. And I think that's interesting. It's interesting because if we're getting a Nintendo Direct in April, what does that mean for this Nintendo Direct that would have this 3D Mario reveal that was supposed to happen by the end of March? Maybe they're two different things. Maybe we're talking about a partner showcase here. Typically, when Attack the Backlog is hearing about things well in advance, it's for a partner showcase. He has heard about General Directs before, but usually not so far in advance. So, I'm leaning towards this being a partner showcase. Also, I feel like oftentimes when we hear about Direct stuff, everyone jumps to the conclusion, myself included, to be clear, that it's gotta be a general. Because, I mean, well, that does make sense, you would think, right? Like, we do desperately need a general, that's how it feels. But I'm here just trying to not jump to the conclusion that we're going to get a really big Direct, even though we're definitely getting pretty close to being overdue here. A point I've stated a few different times is that when we take a look at the history of Nintendo Directs, when we've gone a partner showcase, usually it comes in place of like that bigger Direct we would typically get during that period of time. So here we got an Indie World showcase plus a Direct partner showcase in late August, not quite September, but are pretty close to the time we would typically get a September Direct. There was no September Direct, as we almost always have gotten. Or we go back to early 2024, they had a partner showcase, but no normal typical February Direct, and we had to wait all the way until June. Or even last year, because we did get a big April switch to a Direct and also the March General, during the summertime, all we got was the Bonanza Direct and then a partner showcase in late July. So that typical summer Direct, it was a partner showcase and a Donkey Kong Direct. We had to wait until September. So point is, typically when we've gone partner showcases, they pretty much usually take place of that bigger Direct during that period of time, and we did get a partner showcase, albeit an underwhelming one, in February. And what feels like perhaps a nail in the coffin to many here is the fact that Mario Day, as predicted, would have a Direct, but most likely would be a Mario Galaxy Movie Direct, and some other Mario news such as a trailer for Yoshi and the Mysterious Book to come out in May, and maybe a little bit more. I talked about how maybe it could include what appears to have been a leak for Mario Kart World DLC. That has not come out yet. Maybe they are saving that news for when we eventually do get this mysterious General Direct, whenever that time does come. But instead what we got was a trailer for Super Mario Bros. Wonder Switch 2 Edition. So we got 2 new trailers for 2 Nintendo games coming out in this first half of the year, and a Mario Galaxy Movie Direct. And there was a lot of news on that, including, this was on the website by the way, the reveal of another Nintendo character outside the Mario universe in the movie, Rob. So there actually was a pretty significant, healthy amount of news on Mario Day, as I predicted, and many others as well. But because we got all that stuff, especially Yoshi and the Mysterious Book with a date for May, it gives Nintendo even more room before needing to put out a big presentation where they're revealing more details about their first-party offerings. In other words, with all these different announcements in mind, we should be setting ourselves with the expectation we could wait all the way until the summertime for the next big direct. However, I will also say this is still pretty early on into the Switch 2 generation. Nintendo's been throwing out all kinds of different styles of directs left and right. There's always something. It's never the really big thing, or at least lately it hasn't been the really big thing. But Nintendo keeps on putting out different types of direct presentations. They have proven to be actually fairly unpredictable in many cases when it comes to what kind of direct they're going to do next outside of the predictable Mario Galaxy Movie Direct. And so I don't think we should rule out another kind of direct happening in the not-so-distant future. I feel like Nintendo has been really holding back on revealing the really cool stuff. I think Nintendo does need to start showing the big stuff, including a 3D Mario. But what I feel like has been overlooked is what happened in 2023. In 2023, yeah, Nintendo did have another new mainline Mario platformer to reveal to come out in that same year as the Mario movie. But they did not reveal it in lead up to the Mario movie. They waited a few months after the Mario movie. So there's been this argument that it makes sense to reveal the next big new 3D Mario before the Mario Galaxy movie comes out on April 1st, which leads people to think that there's gotta be a March Direct. But in 2023, Nintendo waited until the summertime to reveal Mario Wonder to come out in October. Nintendo could be aiming for something similar here. But I also gotta say, if we're talking about something more substantial, something that is like the big game for the year, like a new 3D Mario, I do think there should be a longer turnaround here, especially if there's a lot of other games that Nintendo's going to want to promote and talk about during this time as well. Like Mario Wonder didn't have that much competition in 2023. But if these upcoming holidays for 2026 are going to be anything like 2025's, where there are several games coming out within a 9-week span, then I do think Nintendo needs a longer gap of time here, very similar to how they handled things literally last year. They showcased most of their significant offerings for the year in that April 2nd giant Switch 2 Direct. So maybe Nintendo's adopting a slightly different strategy here. They are going to have a lot of the smaller presentations, the game-specific directs, the movie directs, the partner showcases to fill in the gaps, but they're still planning on having those bigger, giant-sized directs. In fact, these bigger directs have been longer than usual, approaching an hour, which is more so than the typical 40 to 45 minutes. And so what we may be seeing here is Nintendo transitioning to having 2 giant directs in the year. And so not in the early part of the year, the summertime and then September, but maybe more like late March, early April for a giant direct. Then they have something else in the summertime, and then we still get like our September big presentation, and the cycle continues. Of course, with Nintendo, the pattern's always shifting and adjusting, so there's no guarantee this is actually going to be a pattern, but perhaps that's what's actually going on here, and that's what Attack the Backlog is hearing. I gotta say, I feel like it would be really weird for Nintendo to have another partner showcase in a row 2 months after the February one and still not have had the big general direct. I do think it makes more sense with Yoshi Mysterious Book having its date for May to start talking more about that game to come out in May and things to come out afterwards in April if they're not doing it in March. At the very least, though, I think we are going to be getting some updates on several third-party titles, like maybe DLC for Resident Evil Requiem, us learning about Elden Ring. We've been seeing improvements to the performance. It's about time they announce a release date for that. So more significant Switch 2 news is on the way, and at some point or another, Nintendo will no longer be able to delay the inevitable, and they will have to start talking about what they have to offer for the rest of the year. So we'll see what happens over the next few weeks here. is certainly interesting. It's hard to say exactly for sure what's going on, but let me know what you all think in the comments below. And don't forget, you can use my code SLEEPRESTART when checking the link in the description below for the Manta Sleep Mask. This is AndresRestart. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I will see you all really soon. Take care. Bye.